To start off, my name is Maggie Yeboah. My local name is Asabia. And my day of birth name is Abina. Back home where I come from, we have a tribe that goes by the day of the week that we are born. I migrated from Ghana in West Africa in 1981. So this year marks my 40th anniversary being in Canada. I was a teacher. I was trained as an elementary school teacher back home before migrating to Canada. Winnipeg is where I stayed. I also stayed a little bit in Minnedosa. I did take some courses at Red River College, and I became a early childhood educator. And I worked in the daycare for 12 years. After that, I decided to go back to school. So I went to U of M and I took social work. I love to be in the community. So I do serve on different capacity in the community. In my own Ghanaian community, we have a Ghanaian union. And just as of last year, I was the president for the Ghanaian Union of Manitoba. I do volunteer with the African Communities of Manitoba, which is ACOMI. And with the African Communities of Manitoba, I have been with them for over 22 years now since we started. So ACOMI is the umbrella organization of the different countries from Africa. So ACOMI aims at uniting and engaging in initiatives to improve the lives of the people of African heritage. ACOMI also fosters development in economic and in also making a positive impact in the community. I sit on the board for ACOMI, and I also run the resource center that ACOMI has by Central Park, 421 Kennedy. I coordinate the resource center. I also sit on different cultural boards. I sit on the ethnocultural communities of Manitoba, which we call it Ethnocultural Council of Manitoba. It's made up of different ethnicity all coming together. I also sit on another board, which we call Access Without Fear. We're working with community agencies, hopefully to help people who are undocumented in the country, who are asylum seekers, who are migrant workers, who are refugees, or who are students and need some help. We work with them also. I also sit on the board of the daycare that my little boy, my last born, attended. I also sit on a committee. You may know about this committee. It's run by the White Buffalo Spiritual Society. So this is an Indigenous group, and we run another event called Indigenous Power and Multicultural Gathering. So we offer events like a power. So we'll celebrate power where we have all the power coming in, entry, and where they talk about their ceremonies, and we will serve food. We have different organizations performing cultural dancing and drumming and singing. We're even planning this year to include storytelling and other few things into it. The date we set for this year is March 21st. About 4 years ago, we had an influx of refugees and asylum seekers coming into Winnipeg. And I was saying the highlight of all that is when the two gentlemen, Seydou Mohammed and Razak Iyal, when they were crossing the border in the very cold and wintry weather, and they almost froze to death. It was all over the news, so I'm sure many people heard about them. They had their hands amputated because of frostbite. It was a very serious one. And I did, cooked for them, even at the hospitals. Every afternoon, my lunch break, I would take food to them. And then when they were discharged, they stayed with Karen Godwin at the refugee and hospitality home. I continued cooking and taking it to them, and even sometimes dropping them off during their doctor's appointments, follow-up appointments. Years after when they left, I had Seydou Mohammed come and live with my family again. And then he left, came back for the second time. We finally, last year, got him an apartment, which he did look for it himself. And Seydou is living by himself now. They both doing very well. So despite the fact that they lost their hands to the frostbite, they are very grateful to Canada and especially to Winnipeggers for all the support and the assistance that they got from us. So those two, that was the highlights, apart from the other ones that I hosted in my house. This is the time where we're trying to build on the success of bridging different communities together. As I previously said, I'm so grateful to our Indigenous people here because they freely gave us their land for us to all stay and even to share in our diverse and multiculturalism. In terms of liberation and solidarity, I felt it would be great if we unite because there is strength in unity. When we talk about racism, it comes in different forms and different people experience it differently. Our children that we've had here do experience it differently. Coming to Canada, my experience, I would say I can't complain. It's interesting that this program is the Aunties. Yeah, yeah. I was raised by my aunt because my mom passed away when I was 6 years. So by tradition, that is how we would do. We did it, or we still do. So I left my aunt and some of my siblings, and I came to Canada. Canada has been my country. I've lived here more than I've lived back home where I was born. So my connection with Canada will not be the same like other people. But when we talk about diversity, yes, I see the diverse communities we have here. It used to be we didn't have that many colored people. Now we have so many. To be aware of all the diversity we have in Canada and remember that diversity is strength. If we come together, I will have a different idea. You will have a different idea because of our diverse background. And that really works and builds our country. Canada was founded on a diverse or diversity.